Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for the podcast of the True Power from Within. Happy Monday, and I hope this podcast touches you in the most amazing and encouraging way. So today, I'm coming out of the book of John, chapter 7. And, I'm going to tell you that sometimes this word will hit you like a ton of bricks, right? And I've named this podcast God Vision because sometimes we have our own vision, right? Sometimes we have a vision that we feel like is our dreams and our hopes and our goals. And we're like, okay, this is my vision. But is it God's vision, right? Because God has performed miracle after miracle after miracle in our lives, but yet we think, oh, we got there on our own. Oh, I did this, or I got sober, or I got my life together, right? Or I did this, or I do that. We give ourselves so much credit. But when God truly, truly gets into your spirit and truly, truly begins to work in you, right? And you really surrender to Him and say, God, I want your vision for my life. I don't want my vision. I don't want somebody else's vision. I don't want to be walking through life just lollygagging around. I want the true God vision, right? And sometimes when you get that God vision, even though God has prepared you for such a time as this, right? God begins to prepare us. So we go through experiences, we go through hurt, we go through pain, we go through trauma, we go through all of these things, right? And God is just strengthening us. Excuse me, it's Monday. Strengthening us for the future, right? He's strengthening us. He's preparing us. He's training us for the future. He's training us for that God vision, not our vision, not our parents' vision, not our wife or husband's vision, but for His vision, right? He's preparing us. He's qualifying us. He's strengthening us. He's training us. And in the end, He's giving us that wisdom, right? Because when we go through things in our life and then we get to a place and we feel like, God or Satan is attacking us, right? We feel like, oh, we're under attack, right? We're under attack. But God has already given you the wisdom to deal with that because you've probably already seen it before, right? It may not have been in the same form or in the same situation, but you've seen it before because He's prepared you. He's strengthened you, right? And I'm coming out of the book of John chapter 7, and I am going to start with, let me see. I'm going to start with we'll just start with verse 5. So in verse 5, it says, even Jesus' brothers did not believe in Him. Jesus said to His brothers, the right time for me is not yet come, but any time is right for you to go. This scripture hit home for me, right? Because sometimes in life we go through things, right? And I talk about this all the time, and I've posted about this the other day, that sometimes God brings people into our lives, right? And we're like, oh, that's my friend, we're so good together, she's down for me or he's down for me or whatever. And then we see it fall apart, right? Or we see them go do something else and we're like, wait a minute, like what happened here? Like, I thought we were friends. Like, I thought they were going to support me. I thought they were going to be here for me. And then all of a sudden you see something totally different, right? And we begin to get down on ourselves, right? We begin to get upset and we get angry and we're like, what happened? Like, this person's not my friend, or this person. Here's the thing. You've seen it before. You've been through it before. When you get depressed or you get stressed out or something's not happening the way you want it to happen, your goals and your dreams are not happening as fast as you want them to happen. I talk about this all the time. God is preparing you, right? But we've got to get into that God vision. And in this scripture, right, God or Jesus has said, okay, his brothers did not even believe in him. All right. How many people in your life that they don't believe in you? They don't believe in your God vision. They don't believe that you can achieve. They don't believe that you can start the business. They don't believe that you can get sober. They don't believe that you're going to stay out of prison. They don't believe that. But you've got that God vision, right? You got to put those goggles on, right? You've got to put on those God goggles, because there's so many distractions and people are speaking into your life what you can't do, when God has already prepared you for what you can do. And that's what I see here in this scripture, right? Jesus had that God vision. Like, he had the goggles on, right? He had the God vision. His brothers did not even believe in him. How many times do you have people in your life that don't believe in you, right? They see who you used to be. They see how you used to talk. They see how you used to carry yourself, right? And so they don't believe that you've got the God vision. They don't believe that you're qualified. They don't believe that you're going to stay sober. They don't believe that you're going to do good things, or you're going to follow God, or you're going to bring his word, or you're going to help his people. They don't believe that, because they know you as who you used to be. And sometimes we get into a mindset that all we keep saying is, oh, we're being attacked by Satan. We're being attacked by Satan. Let me tell you something. Satan does send distractions. He is the king of division. But when you have that God vision on, when you have those goggles on, you begin to see things a little differently. You can wake up in the morning, and as soon as your feet hit the floor, you can rebuke those devices that he is sending your way. You can see those people in your life that are not good for you, that you have to keep at a distance. You can see the fact that I've been in this place before, right? I've had these types of friends before, and they all leave me, and they don't care about me, or they say they care, but they never seem to care, or they'll leave me at the drop of a dime. But here's the thing. God has prepared you for such a time as this. If you know the same God that I know, you know he's really good at math. And I want you to listen to this. He's good at math. Because when God starts subtracting, that means multiplication is coming. When he starts subtracting things from your life, that means he's about to multiply other things in your life. But you've got to get that God vision. You cannot allow people to distract you. Do you hear that? Here it says that Jesus said to his brothers, the right time is not yet come, but any time is right for you to go. When people come into your life, sometimes they're just for a season, right? Sometimes they serve their purpose because God is saying, listen, I need you to see this. I need you to learn this. I need you to experience this. Because when you get to where you're going, you're going to need this experience. When you get to where you're going, you're going to need this wisdom. But people come in and they will try to attack you, right? They will try to attack your mind, because they will tell you all the things that you cannot do. And then you have these people that are here telling you all the things that you can do. So you don't have to have a large crowd to be successful. You don't have to have a large crowd to bring the word. You don't have to have a large crowd to help someone else. Because God has given you his vision for your life. He's given you the vision that he says, child, I've given you everything that you need. I've qualified you. I've given you the wisdom that you need in this season. See, what I have learned, and, my husband and I, we have these moments, right? We have these moments where he'll sit and talk, right? And I'll be silent. And then I'll sit and talk and he'll be silent, right? And in a lot of relationships, people may get offended by that, right? Like, why are you not talking? Why are you not saying anything? But what I've learned is I soak in everything that he says, right? Because at the end of the day, I knew God, right? Because my grandparents had instilled all of that stuff into me. But I was so weak in my mind after being in an addiction, being in prison, all, having to start my life all over again and being, well, I'm not going to say being lied to in my life, but not being put into a direction of, how merciful and how graceful that God is. Because when I went to church as a child, it was basically heaven or hell. There was no in between, right? I didn't know about grace. I didn't know about mercy. I didn't know about all of these things. So when I began to go downtown, when I first met my husband, to the homeless ministry, I'd never heard a message on grace. I'd never heard a message on mercy. I'm not going to cry. I hate doing this, but I never heard that. Right. So I knew about God and I knew that, I knew who he was, but I didn't know that he was graceful. Right. Even though he spoke to me when I was in prison, he spoke to me before I went to prison, but it was more like, am I ever going to be able to be in his presence because I've done so many things bad? So when I began to go downtown and I began to hear the message, right? I began to hear the messages of grace, the messages of hope, the messages that God is so merciful, right? And that sin dies daily and that there's, no sin greater than the other. And all of these things, when I began to hear this, I began to understand that I could still be in his presence, right? No matter what I've been through, nobody can tell me I cannot be in his presence. Nobody can tell me that I can't do something in God's kingdom. Nobody can tell me that I cannot sit here on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and bring a word. Nobody can tell me that I can't get on stages and tell my testimony and talk about how God has changed my life. Nobody can, because I have the God vision. I know God for myself, right? And last night my husband, he was talking, and he was, we were sitting on the back porch and he was talking, and I'm sitting there and I'm just, I'm just soaking it in. And we're talking about distractions and we're talking about division, right? But we have that God vision. See, what some people think is, people will use against you, right? People will use your past against you. They'll use your depression against you. They'll use your mindset against you. They will use so many things against you. But when you get into that God space, into that God vision, can't nobody take you off that unless you allow them to. See, you may used to have been able to get me when I was in my addiction. You might have been able to distract me when I was in prison. You might have been able to distract me before I started going downtown. You may have been able to distract me before I started getting into the word, right? But now you can't distract me because I know the God vision. I know who he is. I know he is merciful. He is graceful. I know that he is a God of hope. He is a God of change. He is a God of forgiveness. I know that for myself. So although you may have friends that walk away, you may have family members that talk about you, but like Jesus, he had that God vision. He said, it's not my time yet, right? And even though I'm in the God space and I'm in the God vision and I know what he's trying to do in my life, and I know that what he's qualified for me for, and I know what I'm passionate about, and I know what my purpose is, but it's not yet my time. But when God says, I'm going to open up those floodgates, that nobody that used to talk about you or nobody that left you, don't worry about them. Just keep the goggles on. Just keep the God vision, because you're not going to need those people that I've subtracted from your life, because I'm about to multiply some other people in your life. I'm about to bring I'm about to bring people into your life that are absolute strangers that you never even thought could put you on, not bring you up levels and levels and levels. I'm going to bring people into the ministry that is going to help multiply. You know, my husband always says, I'm not out there to be seen. I'm out there to serve. And that's very powerful. Because you're absolutely right. You don't have to be seen. But who does see you is God. Because you got the God vision. You've got the goggles on. You're serving. You're being faithful. You're doing what he says for you to do. He's going to bring those people. He's going to multiply. And it's the same thing. See, people think they can get to you, but if you've got the God goggles on, they cannot. Satan is busy. If we live in the same world, you can see Satan is busy. He has lots of devices. And here's the thing, if he can't get to you, he's going to attack your marriage, or he's going to attack your children, or he is going to attack your family, or he's going to attack your business. But you have to stay up in your faith and know, hey, listen, I know the things that I've been through before. And I know the hurt and the pain and the trauma, right? I haven't seen these situations in the same exact spot, but God's given me the wisdom. I know how to deal with this. I know how to fight off the devil. I know how to get up every day and say, not today, Satan. You have to be able to put that God vision on. You have to be able to block out those people that don't belong in your life. You have to be able to keep your goggles on. The God vision. So what I'm telling you today is to get the vision from God. Don't get the vision from your family or from your past, because God says, I've prepared you for such a time as this. Yes, everything seems busy around you. Everybody, it seems like things are falling apart, but he said, actually, they're just falling together. I know it looks like I'm subtracting right now, but trust me when I tell you, I'm about to multiply in your life. I don't need you to get distracted about the things that I've removed. I need you to stay focused on the things that I'm about to multiply. Because I've already given you the wisdom in this space, right? I've already sent you downtown, and I've already showed you that I'm a God of hope. I'm a God of grace. I'm a God of mercy. I'm a God of multiplication. I am a God of faithfulness and forgiveness. I've already showed you that. Now keep the vision. You're getting up every day and you're sharing the word, and even though a lot of people don't watch or a lot of people don't comment, but I've got people watching you. I've got people paying attention to you. And if you just bring one every single day, or you just bring one in your lifetime, you have achieved. We have to get the God goggles on, the God vision. We have to keep the God vision. Our world is so chaotic right now, and things look so uncertain. But even in a pandemic, even in sickness and pain and trauma and addiction and all of these things, God is still in the midst. My husband said it like this: he's got the key to open the door, and he's got the key to shut the door. So it's up to us. Are we going to allow all of these things to get us off track? Or are we going to decide we're going to get in the word more, we're going to pray more, we're going to meditate more, we're going to help more, we're going to go out in the streets more, we are going to get outside the walls of the church more? It's up to you. Do you quit here? No. Do you quit because somebody talks about you? Do you quit because somebody walks out of your life? Do you quit because you feel like it's too hard or it's too risky? Do you know that when God is about to do a breakthrough in your life, it's uncomfortable? Do you know that when you begin to learn the word of God, trust me when I tell you this, because before I was like, I don't even understand some of the stuff in this word. I have to ask every day for understanding to understand what he's saying in here. I have to wake up every day and say, Lord, search me, Lord, because I know that I still have an attitude sometimes. I know that I am not 100% healed. I know that I am not perfect. Lord, I know that I'm not the perfect wife or the perfect mother or the perfect nana. But Lord, search me so that I can be the best version of myself every day for those around me. Trust me, we all fall short. But are you going to fall short and quit? Are you going to fall short and pick yourself back up and say, look, listen, Lord, I have fallen. I'm getting back up. Search me. And anything that is not of you, please remove it from me, Lord. Because I want to keep the God vision. I may not be where I want to be, but Lord, I'm not where I used to be. My mind is not where it used to be. My mind is not where it used to be. My heart's not where it used to be. And Lord, I'm striving and I'm trying every single day, and I'm not perfect. And I know that I fall short, but Lord, search me because I want to be the best version of myself for you and for my husband and for my children and for my grandchildren and for all of the people throughout the world that I can touch. I want to keep the God vision because I know your vision is greater than my vision. And I know the people that have come and go out of my life, Father, I know those are not by mistake. I know that I've gained wisdom from prison. I've gained wisdom from addiction. I've gained wisdom from going downtown and helping with the homeless. I've gained it. I've gained vision in my wisdom in my marriage. I've gained wisdom as a mother. I've gained wisdom as a nana. I've gained wisdom. You've gave me the experiences, Lord. And so now I want to take the wisdom and I want to use it for the good of you, Lord. Keep the God vision. Get out of the earthly vision. Get out of the belief system that you're under attack all the time. Because God has prepared you for such a time as this. He's given you the wisdom to deal with a situation like this. He's telling you to get up. You're going to fail, but when you fail forward. Fail forward. And get up and try again. Because in each experience and each thing that happens in your life, he's given you wisdom and understanding to know. Because listen to me, when you make $400 a week and you're praying that you want to make $100,000 a month or $100,000 a year, do you have the mindset to make $100,000 a year? Do you have that mindset? Or is he going to give you $100,000 a year and you're going to be broke? God is preparing you. He can't give you a blessing if you're not ready for the blessing. He can't give you something. And I've been writing here lately, but I wrote, and I heard this from TD Jakes. He says, you would not give your 5-year-old the keys to the car and tell him to go to the store and get milk. He's not in that season of his life yet. But if he was 16 or 17 or 18 and you needed him to go to the store and get some milk, he's in that season that he could do that. God has you in a season right now that he's just asking you to keep the God vision on. Put the goggles back on, right? You've taken the goggles off because you've got distracted. Put the goggles back on. Get that God vision back. Because he's trying to do some things in your life, and it looks a little rocky right now, and it looks like it's not ever going to happen, but he says, just keep the vision. Keep the vision. Keep believing. Keep praying. Keep meditating. Keep reading the word. Keep doing all of these things because you're on the right path and you're just in a season where I'm preparing you for what is about to come. Because all these people that are walking into your life, or all the people that are talking about you, I'm doing something right now. Because I'm subtracting so that I can multiply. But in the next season, when you get a little bit more, when you got a little bit more people looking at you, right? Because when God does something big in your life, people are going to see it. People are going to feel it. But do you have the heart and the mind and to be able to, and the wisdom to be able to deal with that? Because you may have one person talking about you right now, but just wait till you really start bringing that word, till you really start walking to that God vision. You're going to have all kinds of people talking about you. And he's preparing you in this season for that next season because you got to be able to handle these things. He's saying, are you faithful over $400 a week? Because you're asking me for $100,000 a year. But I need to know that in this season that I'm preparing you, that you're ready for that $100,000 a year. I got to know that when you make that $100,000 a year, you're not going to be selfish with it. That you're going to bless others. That you're going to give back. You're going to pay it forward. You're going to go to Starbucks and buy somebody's coffee behind you just because. Or you're going to take food to homeless people just because. He's got to make sure that you're prepared for that season. So today, I'm just saying, get the God vision and keep it. Keep the goggles on, because God is doing amazing things in your life right now. And I'm going to tell you that the world is chaotic and the world is crazy, but I'm going to tell you right now that God is real busy. God is real busy. So today, get the God vision back. Put the goggles back on. Stay focused. Stay determined. Know that God is a God of grace and mercy and hope and forgiveness, so you can go to him anytime. So today, keep the God vision. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you again.